I started 7 businesses to realize that it all comes down to these 3 principles. I promise that after this video, you will be able to start whatever business you want, and you will be the business founder. And the way that I'm going to do it, I'm going to give you the stories, the lessons, and now I'm going to give you a secret of mine. So it all started when I was young. I was 8 or 9. I started my entrepreneurial journey because that's something that I am interested in. I'm pretty much sure that it's kind of like I was born that way. So I was very young and I started selling water. There's this event that happens every year in my country in the religion, which is there's sheep that must be bought and slaughtered, etc. So in those markets, when their sheep are sold, is literally hot. So it's like men are standing all day, it's hot, and midsummer is like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna sell fucking water. And the price was really like no price, is like whatever they gave me. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It's 2 pennies, 1 penny, 2.5 pennies, sometimes nothing actually, or half a penny, whatever it is. And that was my first entrepreneurial journey. In fact, I actually upgraded it to, instead of selling to the masses, I sold to juice makers. So I gathered all of these bottles that are thrown on the ground, etc. I go to the house, my mother will help me clean them, then fill them with water, get that water, freeze it, then get that freezed water and go give it to juice makers so they can put it in juice so they sell it cold. And that was more profitable because it can get guaranteed 2.5 pennies for that. So 4 bottles equals $1, but also it was fucking heavy. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that after that, my back pain hurted me so much that my family were like, you have to stop. But these things are very important and it will all make sense in a second. So the reason why all of these stories are very important because they are literally what founded me. And the thing is, I was not doing it on my own because I was literally in the house and there's like the window and I hear my friends, because I told you like when I was young, I grew up in a rich neighborhood where most people were rich. So it's not that, but I was with them. So a lot of them had that entrepreneurial spirit. And they see the opportunities. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna go fucking sell and make that water. And actually, their families are fucking supportive of that. It's like, whatever you want, we're gonna support you. And they have that, self-reliance, stuff like that. But the thing is, they literally gave me also that kickstart, because also like when you want to convince your family at that young age, it's pretty difficult. But when you say everyone is doing it, then you're like, oh sure, I'm gonna let you go sell water. And just to not make my family look bad, my mother didn't want to, but I was very stubborn, so I was like, you know what? Whatever. So later on, I actually did more entrepreneurial journeys, and really it was everything. It's like if I see my neighbors or like if I see the kids that are in my neighborhood playing with fireworks, I might as well go buy a firework with from the cheapest store and come back here and sell it, right? If they're, let's say, whatever actually comes to mind, like if there's ropes, also the people that sell sheeps or buy sheeps, I'm gonna go sell them. I actually even did an internship. It was or apprenticeship. There was this guy who was selling sheeps, and it was helping him. And the mother, he didn't pay me like ever, but it was helping them. Which I think like is not really honorable. Really, it's like there is a kid that is literally doing the work for you, and you're not even paying him. But look, the Rich Dad Poor Dad talks about that. It's like once you work for no money, you realize a lot of principles and stuff, whatever that means. So I did that too when I was young. But really, all of those experiences accumulated are what made me the one who I am right now, a business founder. So if I think that it all comes down, so whatever business you want to found comes down to one thing, is really what you want to do plus what you can do. So as an example, if I am a guy who is expert in psychology and I am a psychologist, let's say, or I am a psychology student in college, whatever that may be, I might as well do something about psychology. Whatever that, like there's 100,000 things that I can do. Then I'm gonna see, well, what's the other thing I'm literally fucking interested in? Well, it's sports. I go to the gym every day and I'm like, okay, so there's psychology and there's me going to the gym. How can I do something that combines them both so I can be one, special, two, have specified knowledge, three, really, like, there's no competition as long as I'm literally combining two things that I'm fucking good at. So I'm gonna be like, okay, how to use psychology tricks on, let's say, gym, or I'm gonna train gym owners, or let's say gym people. It's like people who bodybuild, how they control their psychology so they can get the best results. And he shows some data that psychology actually have a direct effect on how your body muscles get built. All of the data is like, you can find tons of them. And the thing is, really, like, it's unlimited as long as you use your imaginations, which might be tricky for a lot of people, because if you don't use your imagination often, you will not know how to do it. And this is like a thought that was prescribed beautifully in the book Think and Grow Rich, and he was speaking about this all in depth. He says, look, our imagination is our most powerful sword. It's literally the source of everything we do, all the thoughts, all the inspirations, all the hints, and all the visions. However, not everyone has the access to it. And if you have experienced in your life those stuff that I just mentioned, you know how that feels like. It feels awesome. It's usually reasoning mixed with emotions. You feel something. It's not only that you think about something. So that is imagination. And he also goes all in depth about it. And he says the only way to access it is by combining reason with emotions. So instead of saying, look, it's like if you want to found a business, you find that why. You see a lot of people talk about it. It's like gurus. They're like, you have to find your why. It's more important. Your purpose. What does that fucking mean? It literally means the fucking emotional side. You know? It's like if someone says, if I don't do this, I'm gonna fucking die. It's most likely that he will do it than someone who's like, I like doing it. And I think I'm gonna do it because I just like the results. Like, yeah, sure he can, but like, yeah, the first one will have fucking more unfair advantage. And that's why there's this guy, I don't know what's his name, but sometimes he popped up on my feed the other day, who tells, he tells people, is like, look, you're not fucking performing good. And they're like, dude, what do you mean? He's like, if I told you, if he asks him, like, how many sales do you do in a month? He's like, okay, 20. He's like, okay, so you do 20. What if there is someone who stole your kids, your wife? It's like, you have kids? He said, yes. Okay, someone stole your kids and your wife and told you that at the end of the month, if you don't make 40, you have to make 40 to get them back. What will you do? He's like, fucking, I'm gonna do them. It's like, okay, so fucking do them. And it's like that pressurized environment that, whether it is real or not, is usually what pulls people or puts them in that situation. This is something that happens also with Elon Musk. He feels like the guy who's like, is a life or death situation. Obviously, it's rooted also in his like nature when he was young in South Africa when he was fighting all the time. It's kind of like survival games. But really, even that now he's grown up, and he's in his book. It's actually mentioned so many times. It's like he's gonna fucking do that, and period. It's like he's putting everything on the line, whatever. It's like it's a life or death situation, and I honestly think that's the best way to make results, because there is a lot of pullbacks from the universe, which is the natural law. It's like if you want to do something, literally the fucking universe will pull you down, will try to pull you down. Once you fucking access that, which is the imagination, it will not hold you down, because you're mixing fucking emotions. Like if you say, if I'm not doing this, I'm gonna fucking die. And usually it is true. Let's say you're a business founder, and you know you're college students, whatever that may be. You are fucking college students. Think about it. If you don't found that business to make fucking money, you will fucking starve to death and you will die. So might as well fucking make it work. It's literally, you will fucking die if you don't make this. These links are so fucking surreal for so much people. They're like, dude, this is just unreal. Yeah, for you, because you're not using your fucking most powerful tool, which is imagination. And don't take it from me. Take it from Napoleon Hill. He spent 22 years studying the richest man in the world, and he was hired by the richest man in the world. There's like no fucking clue, like no way, no shit that he figured out a lot of shit, okay? And he is the one who literally fucking brought light to this principle. It's like you have to use your unconscious mind, which is literally like imagination. It comes from your unconsciousness. And unconsciousness is smarter than your conscious mind. Most people don't know this. Our unconsciousness is literally what operates, is the operating system, right? So yeah, of course you have to fucking do it. It's like, you know, a computer, you click, that's your conscious mind. However, what happens in the background, you don't fucking see, that's the unconscious mind. You change the unconscious mind, everything fucking changed. The entire fucking computer changed. And that's literally the difference between all of the computer fucking types. That's Mac OS, this is Windows, that's what it is. And actually, when I first heard this, it was from Elon Musk. He was tweeting this the other day. So he said, if there's one thing that everyone has to focus on, this is something that Elon Musk has said. You have to reprogram your mind. Once you understand that your mind is a program that can be programmed, you understand that your operating system can be changed, and therefore you will look to change it, and you will look to build and program a mind. And the people that know this and understand these principles will not let other people program them. And that's why there's a lot of fucking, literally like Twitter or X now is all about propaganda, whatever. It's like media, etc. Elon Musk is literally like the head start of all of this. It's like because he speaks about programming. The words you hear are literally what fucking programs you. And take it from me. I grew up in a rich neighborhood. I've seen the people that grew up rich, and I've seen like they have the elements that their parents give them, whatever, all of that. So you see that, and also like then we moved on to like one of the poorest neighborhoods in the city. I've also seen that. I realized that how the thoughts are just as important as anything else. In fact, I've seen that the thought difference is so huge, even that sometimes they have the same circumstances. So just get away everything that they got just from their lives, as like having rich parents, whatever, great fucking villas, and the other one not having all that. It's like in some situations, it puts in the light. It's like we're talking about fear, we're talking about bravery, we're talking about communication, we're talking about dreams, aspirations, connections, networking, decision making, self-reliance. All of these change just between the two literal fucking people. Although they have the same situation. So it's not really related to like this guy has a lot of money, this guy no, not. It's literally about the mindset. And this is what I always speak about. So business founding is tricky. And one thing that this is big. So if you have to do one thing as a business founder, it will be this one thing. You have to understand that business founding and being a CEO is different. So about 3 years ago, I founded this business on my brand. I launched it and it was kind of like doing good at the beginning. But then I figured out that now I'm not the founder, I'm the CEO. And I was like, oh dude, I'm not fucking prepared for this, so everything fell down. I realized after that being a CEO and being a founder is not the same. Being a founder is all about finding people, networking, finding talent. That's what being a founder is. You're literally collecting talent from everywhere for the lookout for the best talents out there that you acquire to yourself, acquire to your project, your business, etc. However, CEO or being a CEO on the other hand, it's all about management. You're managing people, you're managing tasks, you're managing time, you're managing all of this stuff, sometimes emotions, sometimes problems, sometimes priorities, all of this stuff that you have to manage in order for the business to keep growing or really just to survive. And this, when happened to me, so it was the founder, I was doing good. It's like I did good, I launched it right. But then it's kind of like, oh, well, now what should I do? Should I just keep founding? You should then switch to being a CEO, which is all about management, with also having the HR in you. So if you are all in one businessman, you have to also have the HR side of you to always do what you did in the first place. So it's like, think about it this way. Business founding is all about networking and finding talent. Being a CEO is all about managing people, time, energy, priorities, problems, whatever that may be. And on the other hand, if you are a one-man business, one showman, you have to comprehend that even if you are in the CEO state, so you gather talents, etc., you have to always go back to that. And the way you will state it is being HR, human resources. Because literally the company will have churn, which is obviously like something that happens all the time. Even if you acquire talent, that talent might just get away, find a better job, find another opportunity. They have responsibilities. They just fly out. Like I have like my best networking so far, just flied out to Europe, moved out to Europe. It's like, okay, now that's one thing. It's like these things. So now you have to get familiar with, although you're being a CEO, you also manage human resources, which means you acquire also new talent. So you business found, which is all about networking, then you manage, and while managing, you have to make sure that you're not neglecting the HR, which is not only keeping what you have, but also always being for the lookout, because what you have might not last you forever. People change, people grow, whatever it may be, their circumstances change, so yeah. Okay. Now you understand few things. You understand few principles, speaking from the unconscious mind and imagination, as well as speaking from experience and my data on what are the tricks that you have to be ready for being a founder, being a CEO, then being an HR at the same time as being a CEO. But I think if you want to be a business founder and you don't do this one last thing that you have to care about and put all of your energy and time and effort in, it will be this. It will be this one thing, which is you have to comprehend what is your vision and also what you have to do. So there's this teacher that came up to me. So I was like pitching him. I said to him, I have this service that I make presentations for teachers, etc. So he's doing more outreach. And he asked me one thing that I was like, what? He said, why do you do this? I was like, okay, this guy is pretty, I'm not gonna say nerd, but he is, okay, that's the truth. So he's a nerd. I was like, this teacher has spent his entire life between theories. He was like, is it money? I was like, I'm not gonna tell him money, sure. He's a nerd. I'm not gonna tell him money. I said, you know what? I told him the vision. So I have vision, etc. So I was speaking to him. It's like, what was my vision, whatever. And I really went back home and I was like, I just literally just fucking bullshitted that entire conversation. I should have just said, you know what? Yeah, it's money. And also I have a vision. Because what you have to comprehend is like, I really thought about this a lot in the past 2 weeks. Is like, as a business or whatever project you want, as a business founder, you have to have a vision. Long-term vision, long-term, short-term, whatever you want. Medium-term. So you have to have a vision for you to actually attract people and also make customers, clients believe in you. So you believe in the cause, make people believe in the cause, and also the people that work with you believe in the cause, even if you're one showman. But also you have to understand that you also have to make money to fucking survive. The vision cannot fucking exist without having money, without having cash flow. So you want to balance both. And yes, the teacher asked me, do you want to fucking make money? Yes, I want to fucking make money. Because if I don't make money, my vision will not exist. But also if my vision does not exist, I might not be able to make money as I should be as a business founder. And although this video is all about business founding, in fact, I have to also mention this. It's like, If there is one thing that you have to comprehend as a business founder, is that you might not be a business founder forever, which is the stages that I said. Business founder, CEO, and also doing HR, because that's literally the most important thing if you want to be in that state. Because that's literally what, like, there's no other scenario. Unless if you want to be like a showman, like for your entire life, one showman, not recommend that. Because there's delegations, like the 4-Hour Workweek is an entire fucking book, and it's also like known as being the go-to entrepreneurial book for entrepreneurs. Speaks about all of this. It's like you have to go through these phases even if you don't want to, and even if you're an employee, right? So you're not like business founder or whatever, you're just employed. You have to go through these steps of whatever delegations, having VAs, virtual assistants, etc. And he like the book speaks a lot about like the tricks. It's like, let's say you are in the US, it might fucking make all the sense to hire someone from India with 10% of the price that you get paid per hour, and he will do this task for you, so you buy your time back, and also you pay like 10% of your money of what you get paid. So you keep 90% of the profit, and at the same time you have your hour back, and you can do whatever you want, and basically get that, and you put it in something that is more important. This is like the fucking main principle of the 4-Hour Workweek, one of the most best-selling books of all time about entrepreneurship. So as I promised, now you are ready to found any business you want, like no matter what type it is, no matter what size it is, no matter who you are. These principles can be applied to anyone, and these are not only based on my stories, but also based on my data. And you can do it now, which is the best thing. It's like you can start literally immediately now and start doing the actions and literally make it fucking life. And what you've seen here today, you can never unseen. So you might as well subscribe.